Nearly 20 years ago, Porsche shattered tradition with the Cayenne, its first SUV. A huge success, it proved naysayers wrong. The second generation gained hybrid powertrains, showing that the technology can be used for performance. Gen 3 shakes things up with an available 911-inspired rear flyline, a $3,000 upcharge, and the plug-in powertrain in the Turbo S E-Hybrid model is the most potent Cayenne money can buy. Looking for your own personal rapid transit system? This is a solid choice for you and 4 of your friends, though at a base price of $167,000, it's infinitely more expensive than a Metro Pass. Optioned up, this one's $180,000, and it would be easy to run the price further by $10K. It can run on electric power alone, 17 miles, but less if you drive it like a Porsche.
Not many people will be impressed by that figure. Look, if you're buying a Porsche to save gasoline, may I suggest a Taycan? Here, electrification is all about performance. Any pure electric range, that's just gravy.
One reason for the e-hybrid? Cities in Europe have green zones where gas operation is verboten. Some American cities have considered it. This would keep people from buying a second car, so maybe it's a money saver, huh? Carbon ceramic discs are standard on the Turbo S E-Hybrid. Let's dive into the powertrain. It starts with a 4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 that makes 541 horsepower by its lonesome. Sandwiched between it and the transmission is an electric motor good for 134 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of instant torque. Total system power, 670 horses and 663 pound-feet, moving 5,670 pounds. Being a Porsche, it's fired up on the outboard side. Normally, starting is not impressive to the ears, but when the V8 kicks on, it's the best-sounding hybrid money can buy. Liquid-cooled, the 14.1 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion pack charges in around 2.5 hours using commercial charging, or 6 hours with home level 2. It can charge using the gas engine as well. It kind of defeats the purpose. The 8-speed Tiptronic-S gearbox is not a dual clutch. Those aren't as effective for towing. It can tug up to 7,700 pounds, good for pulling the GT3 to the track. E-hybrids have all sorts of modes and ways to tune everything to your liking. Adaptive 3-chamber air suspension is standard. This clock and dial means Sport Chrono is along for the trip. The Sport Response button offers 20 seconds of maximum power. The top track speed is normally a lofty 183 miles an hour. These 21-inch wheels are shod with mud and snow tires, so I'm limited to just 150 mph. This car does have a lot of different personalities. For starters, you can put it in e-power, and it's fully electric. Good for up to 83 miles an hour, it's not nearly as quick in this mode because only the electric motor does the moving. All right, let's go into Sport Plus. That kicks on everything, both gas and electric. In total, there's about 100 more horsepower and torque than a Porsche 911 Turbo. But this does weigh about a ton more. Instant torque off the line with the electric motors and a twin-turbo V8 chaser. I like it. It's 0 to 60 in about 3.5 seconds. It's hard to imagine a better machine to rocket cross-country in. There's enough room for people to overpack. With PASM, or Porsche Active Suspension Management, the ride can be adjusted from Canyon Carver to plush but controlled, and the engine note, especially the optional sport exhaust system, is a symphony. I am on record as really liking electric cars, but the sound of this? I like that. I do. The air suspension automatically goes into low setting at or above 131 miles an hour, which improves stability and reduces drag. I'll take Porsche's word on that. Ground clearance ranges between 6.3 and 9.6 inches. As for off-road mode, not doing that today. Apparently, it's pretty capable, but you know, I drive these cars the way I would if I owned them, and I wouldn't off-road a vehicle this expensive, that's for sure. On-center feel is locked down on the straights with plenty of communication in the twisties. A standard active roll stabilization system with 48-volt technology keeps body movements to an absolute minimum. This one's equipped with $1,600 rear axle steering. Man, it is amazing. This thing just whips around corners, flat as all get out. Maybe it's because I just got out of a 911 and a Taycan, but I feel like this ride's really high. It corners well, it does, but I feel like I'm on stilts. Generally, there's little hint of the electric motor and gas engine doing their dance. The V8 can shut down at speed, allowing the Cayenne to sail along without petrol power, but usually in auto mode, the E-Hybrid pretty much feels and sounds like a gas-powered vehicle. I have no issue with the brake pedal feel, the transition from regenerative to the actual physical disc brakes. And remember, this has carbon ceramic discs. Nice, good control, a little hard to evaluate since the pavement's a bit damp, but at least I'm running the right tires. Like all Porsche automatic transmissions, this one is calibrated very nicely. Manual shifts are fast, not super quick because remember, this is not a dual clutch. Efficiency? The EPA rates both the standard and coupe version of the Cayenne Turbo S E-Hybrid at an average of 39 mpge, or if you don't charge it, 18 miles per gallon on premium fuel. Hey, this is a high-performance SUV. The V6 Cayenne E-Hybrid is a bit more efficient if that's your thing, and a lot more affordable. You could charge every chance you get, and that would increase efficiency, but come on. You're not buying a Prius here. It all depends on how much you drive and how easy a plug is to get at. Also, the E-Hybrid doesn't need to be charged, but why buy it? Look carefully at the cabin, and you'll see that it's graphite blue, not black. This colorway is a crowd pleaser. So is the hefty look and feel of the hardware. There's craftsmanship in every nook and cranny, right down to lined door pockets. I hope so. Again, this particular Cayenne stickers for 180 grand. Porsche says the redesigned advanced cockpit display is based on the 918 Spider, you know, if you can't get your hands on one of those. Standard adaptive sport seats get 18-way adjustment and memory. There's a comfortable setting for just about anyone. Massage is optional. Some SUVs are stuffed with storage cubbies, Cayenne not so much, and the center console is very shallow. Controls are a mix of physical switches and haptic surfaces. When not listening to the lovely throb of the V8, the Bose sound is pretty good. Wealthy audiophiles might upgrade to the $5,800 Burmester 3D system. The touchscreen interface is responsive and configurable to put important functions where the driver needs them. In other words, put a little bit of time into setting it up properly, and it's very easy to use. A selector wheel can be used. It's small and easily mistaken for a volume knob by newbies. Apple CarPlay is standard. Android Auto is not available. You're going to ask me about headroom, aren't you, because of the fastback roofline? You're so predictable. Says the guy that wears the same shirt every day. Touché. Headroom? Headroom is actually good. About that much. We're both 5'9". Knee, leg, and foot room? Very generous. Cushions are high enough so that thigh support is excellent. And the door openings are big enough so that car seats go in and out. But really, do you want kids back here? This is a nice vehicle. Door pockets, those are usable. Kind of surprised there aren't built-in sunshades. Seat pockets, yes, and yes.
Phones can be charged. You will be needing the new USB cords here, or get an adapter. Heated seats, oh yes, and dual zone climate control. The driveshaft tunnel is on the moderate side, and it really doesn't matter because this Cayenne is set up for only two. Adults will be very comfortable back here. It's roomy. And if you need a 3-seat configuration, that is available. Whether you prefer Cayenne's standard roofline or this coupe is a personal choice. Both are handsome with minimal lines in the way only Porsche does. This one is done up in moonlight blue metallic. No cost, by the way, unusual for Porsche. Spotter's guide, the acid green trim, and calipers are a sure giveaway that this is an e-hybrid, though you can get them in black. While you're looking at pretty pictures, I'll point out that automatic emergency braking is standard, while stuff like adaptive cruise is optional. InnoDrive, Porsche's semi-autonomous driving tech, is part of a $6,200 assistance package, though it adds night vision too. And it wouldn't be a Porsche if there weren't charges like $660 color match seatbelts. This might seem odd, but I've found that the fastback roofline isn't much different when it comes to real-world usability compared to the standard back end of an SUV. This one might be an exception. The security cover has this netting, which is great for small things needed often. Cayenne can be lowered from the back to make loading as easy as possible. There is no spare tire, which doesn't surprise me. What does is that there's no remote releases on a car this expensive, a hassle for owners that use Cayenne to haul big things on a regular basis. At least the floor is flat, and there's 40-20-40 split seats. A standard Cayenne at 22.7 cubic feet is good for 8 packs. The fastback roofline lowers that to 17.6, limiting the load to 6 packs. So this one isn't as useful. Let's go to red light, green light. Green light. Performance. The moves this roomy 5-seat SUV makes in hard driving is breathtaking, like it's defying the laws of physics. The best of all worlds powertrain can be electric and efficient, but wicked quick with a menacing growl, and the e-hybrid system is seamless. Design, materials, and craftsmanship are top-notch, just what you'd expect from the brand. Yellow lights? Love the powertrain, but would like to see a little more all-electric range. Who wouldn't? The cabin is roomy and well-appointed, but Porsche is stingy with storage cubbies. Love the 40-20-40 split back seat, but no remote releases? This is a $180,000 vehicle. Red light, the typical Porsche tax. It starts expensive and goes from there with options like $900 black brake calipers. Some items like adaptive cruise that are standard on Toyotas and Hondas are optional on Cayenne. The raked roofline of the coupe adds style but reduces the cargo space by some 20%. That's the price of fashion. But really, whether it's the fastback or standard roofline Cayenne, the only thing keeping most people from choosing the Turbo S E-Hybrid is the lofty price, though it can be argued that the deep goodness of this machine justifies the cost of entry. The great thing about this vehicle is it's the only one you really need. It's comfortable but can be sporty, it's roomy, it's practical, it's gas, it's electric. Sign me up! But I do need a bigger wallet, that's for sure. Also, there's the new Taycan Sport Turismo for the full electric experience. For those who need a good reason to make more green, the Porsche Cayenne Turbo S E-Hybrid lets you go green or go fast. Your choice. Some days, it just works out when it comes to photography. Hope you enjoyed the visuals on this piece as much as I liked shooting the Cayenne. These roads are just outside of Carnation, Washington, if you're curious. The town is named after the condensed milk. Seriously. Gotta say though, when the tarmac is wet like this, dark paint quickly shows road grit and grime. That means the fabulous Martin Campbell, who drives, and I had to wipe down the Porsche every couple passes to keep things to our standards. Lots of microfiber towels and elbow grease. Pretty sure you don't feel sorry for us though. Don't forget to watch these reviews on your big screen TV. They look great.
And a reminder that even Porsche owners love getting a great deal. As the charging infrastructure grows, it's easier to find places to juice up. There are a couple free plugins at my local grocery store now. It can be frustrating when people aren't considerate, though. Please, folks, if you're not an EV, don't park here. You might be keeping a pure EV from a much-needed charge.
Have to admit, I'm running out of fun facts, so this time I'm going to be talking about production values because a lot of you have asked about it. I think you all know that I started in the TV biz as a photographer editor. The on-camera parts, well, that's a necessary evil for car reviews. I take my production values really seriously. I try to vary the backdrop. I have like 100 different places that I shoot. Really makes it more interesting for me, makes it more interesting for you. One of the things that I try to keep out are signs like this, because, you know, they're kind of ugly. But this one I just had to show you because I think it's more effective than just simply a keep out sign. A little creepy maybe, but definitely very effective. And a reminder that I use pro cameras and sliders and drones and GoPros whenever I can to make it more fun for you guys to watch and fun for me to edit and shoot. And for those who keep saying I should have millions of subscribers, yeah, it would be nice if people would watch these, but I have a great time. This is a great gig. I play with cameras and great cars, which have always been my passion. So honestly, I'm having a lot of fun. This is a really good gig. But if you want to subscribe, yeah, go ahead. We have a lot of fun here. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.